The Culture Currency show is for those who recognize that nuance is key. We don't pretend to have all the answers, but we tackle the issues that affect the majority when speaking of Black America. Our discussions are informed by the host's personal experiences and insights, and we're always open to evolving our perspective as we gain new understanding.
This is the story of two friends from the Bronx who decided to get real, be direct, and impact Black culture. Welcome to Culture Currency, where culture is the value. Grand Rising.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm good.
Yes.
The topic today
Is
peace over war, but war is an
still.
option. Now, some may question, what does that have to do with the health of us? But it has a big thing to do with us when you think about the narratives versus who we are, right? We are very passionate people, often described as aggressive, which I disagree with. Right? But we can be.
like all people, all humans.
Like all mankind, right? So I wanted to discuss this because I wanted to be understood that even through healing, it doesn't mean that you won't go to war.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're docile. It means that you're much more mindful with how you operate and why you operate in that way.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we're talking about this topic because, I relate a lot with the work I do. And one of the things that I've always said to the young people and bringing mediation programs to the school is, we're not saying that you should never, engage in a physical altercation, but it's knowing when. The purpose of this is saying that everything is not an actual fight. Some things can actually be talked out. Some things you can actually walk away. But now you're going to get the skill so you can decipher when and where, and you know how.
Absolutely. I'm Mahogany.
I'm Ish.
And this is Culture Currency.
Where culture
is the value. So when we speak of health, often a lot of the people that I hear speak of healthy behaviors, healthy mindset, healthy activity, it's usually void of emotion, which I don't agree with.
What you mean by that, void of emotion?
When I say void of emotion, I mean that all of a sudden, people think that all of a sudden when you heal, you no longer get angry. You no longer get sad. You no longer have the human response to your interactions, which is a false understanding, right? All of those things still exist. We still have the sadness. We still have, it just doesn't take over our existence. Right? And it's a part of being human.
Right.
You're gonna feel things. It's a matter of feeling things and understanding how to operate from those feelings.
Exactly.
Understanding the choices and decisions you're making by way of those emotions.
Right. So basically knowing how to regulate your emotions and not so erratic with them.
Yeah, being more intentional versus reactive, right? So peace should be the major part of your existence, but war will still be a
part of it as well. Right. But not the main, but not the main character. Not the immediate go-to. Right. But it's definitely always an option if need be.
Yeah, because healing is without facade, right? So although we want everyone to heal from any past trauma so that they can operate in a high regard, we still want them to keep their humanity. Right? And a part of that is being truthful with who you are, where you are, and why you're there.
Yeah, right.
Right? That brings me to temperament. The definition of temperament is nature, your nature, right? And it's often not acknowledged today when you speak of disagreements or clashes. Often the temperament is not taken into account.
So we're going to go more into that? Okay, and then I would like to speak about how brain development and how that operates and how our nature, nurture, genetics and all of that plays a part. So it's so many things that we have to literally think about and work through when we're making these decisions. So you want to hit your points?
What I wrote down was temperament is often not acknowledged, therefore choice is muted. And when I say that, it's important for us to acknowledge our nature very separately than how we respond to our nature.
I agree. Oh, man. Okay, so 100% agree with that, because the way we're impacted internally by our experiences, we see them in our everyday life, right? So the brain is such an interesting organ. So we have something called our amygdala, right? Our amygdala is our alarm system. It's letting us know, oh, it's smoke. We got smoke, right? But the thing about the amygdala is that it can be so sensitive. Like that alarm that you just got to take the battery out, because as soon as you start frying the frank, it's going crazy.
That's where PTSD comes in.
That's where PTSD comes in, right? So based on our experiences, we could be getting false alarms, and then we can be overreacting to things. And then young people, their prefrontal cortex is not even developed, and that's the emotional regulation. So if you got the amygdala going crazy, and then emotional regulation is not even developed, you're just emotional and you're wilding, right? And then,
which goes back to our show, feelings versus facts.
right? And then we're in these environments that are volatile, that are stricken with poverty. You got so many things, and then we grow up, and now we are these adults that experience all of these things. So what do? You know what I mean? So it's like we're battling. So when we're making these decisions, we really have to take the time to really think about how much we're working through and trying to push to the side to make logical decisions.
Absolutely. When I speak of peace over war, but war being an option, war is less of an option now, but it's still an option. Before, it would have been more of an option because I was wilding for respect. Right? And in my lack of understanding, respect and fear was in the same space, right? So you ready to go to war, not understanding that that doesn't necessarily bring respect. And not only that, there's a lot of other components that are involved when you go to war. There's casualties of war, and it doesn't just affect you. So I wanted to have this discussion because as someone who is extremely passionate and highly principled, there's a lot of things in my daily world that aggravate me, right? When I looked at temperament, I found different types of temperament.
So the different types of temperament we have are choleric, which is determined and dominant, sanguine, inspiring and influencing, melancholic, which is cautious and conscientious, and phlegmatic, steady and supportive. Right. So those are the temperament types.
So now, when you go into the strengths and weaknesses of those, I realized that while I was looking at the strengths and weaknesses of all of those temperaments, I embody all of them in different ways. But there were two personality temperaments that really fit me for the most part.
Right, same here.
Those two was melancholic, is me and my regular flow. The strengths of that is thoughtful, organized, detailed, self-reliant, creative, and considerate. That is me in a nutshell, right? But the weaknesses of those are perfectionist, moody, discontent, pessimistic, anxious, and tunnel vision. Which are also me at times. Right? Caloric shows up when a goal is in play for me. Because I'm a leader, and that's one of the strengths. Being a leader, being motivational, driven, ambitious, efficient, and confident. That's absolutely me, right? And then the weak is intolerant, inflexible, impatient, demanding, aggressive, and stressed. Now, I wouldn't say I'm inflexible, but I do know that it feels inflexible to people when I have a goal. But those two fit me super well, right? And then when you look at the weaknesses of them, I laughed while I was reading it because it shows where the flare-ups will come, right? Because When you're thoughtful, of course, somebody who's not thoughtful is gonna annoy you.
Right.
When you're considerate, inconsiderate people are gonna annoy you. You know what I mean? So the opposite of all of your strengths is what's going to create a rise from your personality.
My two are caloric and I would say phlegmatic, determined and dominant, and steady and supportive. Those two, leader-driven and all of that kind of stuff, calm, composed, diplomatic. But my weaknesses and negatives is that even though I could be calm, then there's times when I absolutely lose it. I don't agree with the weaknesses of phlegmatic. It says lack drive or ambition.
That's why I didn't put that as mine.
Yeah. Now, but one that I was going with is sanguine because the weakness is definitely me. Impulsive, which I've been working on, like really being serious, about working on that, like impulsive shopping and stuff like that. Forgetful, you know what I mean? Which can come across as selfish. Not punctual. Is that a trait? What, my mother did that, I ain't.
She said, pass that over. Well, all of those temperaments, I see myself in all of them in ways, but the ones that match me the most is the ones that I brought to the table.
Right.
You are who you are, but you have a choice of how you show up, right? And so, if you knew me in a certain stage of my life, you knew that it wasn't hard to get hit. From the outer standpoint, it would be, she's violent. From my standpoint, it was, I stand on principles and you violating. Today, there's a lot of talk of keep your hands to yourself no matter what. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, me either. Even as a peace educator. And I don't believe in passivity.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. There's a time for everything, right? And war has its time as well. It just should not be your first go-to.
Right.
And it should not be by way of trigger. It should be by way of principle, by way of protection, different things like that.
Yeah. And then when I think of war, I take that word very, very, very seriously and literally. So when I think about my temperament and I think why I'm so calm until I'm not and all of that is because I got to go back to the brain. And the hippocampus is what stores your memory, and it usually stores things that were a threat and fearful things. And so when I think about it, as we're having this conversation, I'm thinking about why am I the way I am, and I think it comes from the family that I'm from. And then when we say war, like it was really wars. You know what I mean? Where people had to move, people died. So my point is that it's very important to me that we're very careful about how we handle conflicts because the way they can escalate is crazy.
Very.
So that's another reason why conflict resolution is so important to me and all of that kind of stuff, because it's like, this is not just an argument. This is not just a fight. It's going to go other levels. And it's important that people understand that.
When you speak of, your existence and what you came up around, is that who you are, who you become? Because I want to discuss there's a difference between who I've become by way of protecting myself and protecting others versus who I am innately, right? I am two sides of a coin innately, right? Without the trauma. If you paid attention to me as a child, I was quick-tempered. But I was also very calm, very loving, very joyful, right? But I've always been principled. Even though at that age, I didn't know what principles were, I was living them.
You know what you felt.
So my principles have always been very much connected to how I operate. So whether peace or war came by way of the infringement of my principles. So I'm asking you, is there a difference between who you became versus who you are innately?
Well, one thing my mother said recently, about a couple months ago, she said, She said, you've always been, I think I said this. She said, you've always been reserved, right? But I've never been passive, but I've always been reserved. So I think this is probably just who I am innately. And then just, knowing, where I'm from is just...
And put a little extra sauce on it.
Yeah, and I'm conscious and, and careful about, how things are handled. I think, I'm a lot like my dad like that. He's a very cool, calm guy, but he's not a
Not to be played with.
At all.
And that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between who you become versus who you are temperamentally, right? And that's important.
Yeah.
It's very important to acknowledge that, to know that about yourself.
Right.
Right. So
yeah, you know what? And that's one of the points, actually that is one of the points that I wanted to make, is that in our decisions of peace over war, being very conscious about what's coming up in us when we're making these decisions, to know why are we responding like this? Are we responding to this situation, to this person, or are we responding to a lifetime of shit?
Are you being logical or emotional? And is this a passive-aggressive response? Because the thing is, a lot of people are passive-aggressive, and I can say that I was once guilty of that. I didn't recognize that that's what it was, right?
You thought I was just being calm and then I'm not playing.
I felt like I was giving people passes. It's like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. You're not playing with me. You can't be playing with me. You're not playing with me. Oh, yeah, you playing with me. It's go time, right? But if you're not communicating...
Is that passive-aggressive, though?
Yeah, it is.
How?
Because you're not communicating to anyone what's going on inside of you.
Right.
So their perspective is, we're moving like this. This is fine.
Yeah.
You didn't give them any direction on how to treat you.
Yeah. The reason why, you're right about that, the reason why I'm questioning whether it's passive is because you're not leaving it alone. You're not okay with it.
But you're observing. But you ain't saying it.
But you're not saying it, though. Yeah, it's important. You have to communicate it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
anything
passive.
that's not communicated keeps going.
The moment someone does something that you don't like, you should be able to say, I don't like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you're giving them an opportunity to make adjustments and deal with you correctly.
Right.
Or continue to do it, and then you understand that this is not your type of people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I didn't understand that. I didn't have the tools back then.
From me hearing it, it feels like you was like, I'm gonna give you a pass to see what's up. Oh, you playing? Oh, it's on. It was no in between.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, and that's why everybody seen me as quick-tempered.
Right.
Right?
And you're like, I wasn't quick-tempered, I sat on this.
But the problem is, you're sitting on it.
Right.
No, there was no exchange to let this person know that something wrong was happening.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it looks crazy. It looks crazy. Anytime there's no ground information, no background information to tell someone something is a possibility of coming,
right,
it looks wild.
Like, what the hell? Like, you never even said nothing. Yeah, got you.
We cool, we talking, and all of a sudden you ready to punch me in my face? Like, how we get
here?
That
happened. Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's wrong. It's wrong. It's not right.
Where did that come from? For you?
For me, I believe a part of it is not having the voice that I feel like I needed or deserved in the household.
Okay, what voice?
So just being able to say things are bothering you.
Got you.
You understand? And so you start to tuck that in. But then you grow to believe, which a lot of people say today, oh, this person knows better. We think that age and experience says that this situation translates to you in exact ways that it translates to me, and that's not true, right? So we say stuff like...
Right, oh my God, thanks for saying that.
We say stuff like, you know better. But how do they know better if you didn't give them any of the information to know better? You didn't inform them. You didn't give any warnings. You didn't give any boundaries. You didn't create an environment for them to for you to know that they know. But then you're gonna punish them for not knowing.
You don't feel that certain baseline, foundational things all adults know or should know?
I think that we all should know, yes. All know, no. And the reason I say that is because we all get our different lessons at different times, right? Although we're all receiving experiences to give us lessons, everybody's lessons don't hit at the same time, right? So you and I could have the same experience, but we've received the information differently. Or you're not in a space to see the information. And so the adjustment is not made while my adjustment is made. That's a lesson I received. That's a lesson you may receive later, right? So you getting the seed planted, my flower already bloomed. And all of us have that in different areas. So we can be the same age, but how we take information and from our experience, our lessons and all of that, it hits different in different times.
That's right.
So I could be much more well-versed in one area and lacking in an area that you're much more well-versed in.
It all goes back to our emotional and neurological development. It all goes back to that. And by early 20s, early adulthood, there's parts of our brains that may be fully developed. There are other parts that are still continuing to develop, but we may be at different points based on our experiences and things of that nature. So even though we should know, some people really don't.
Although we're all humans and we could have the same amount of time on the earth, our brains don't work exactly the same. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, the information is coming in differently. So it brings me to something I hear often, like I'll die for them. I want to get us into I'll live for you, right? Now, the same things that we'll die for are the same things we'll live for, or we should live for, right? Now that I'm in hindsight of a lot of my past issues, dysfunction, and just experiences, coming back to the title, Peace Over War, but War is an Option, I'm trying to live for my people. I'm not trying to be or have them be a casualty of war. And so, although it should be obvious when you're dealing with me that I'm not a game, I'm not to be played with, and things can happen, I'm going to always be very mindful of everything that I can lose by things happening. So differently than before, where you might see me walk away from something that before you like, oh, she would have tap danced on this. Today, I'm like, yeah, this ain't worth it. You know what I mean? I got a legacy I'm building. I have a family that I am still raising, you know what I mean, and getting healthy. I'm an example for a whole lot of people. I'm the go-to for a lot of people. There's an investment in me. There's no such thing as invincible. So death is always an option. Being hurt in a real way is an option.
It's a possibility.
Also, taking a life is also an option. Hurting someone in a real way is an option. Losing everything you worked for is an option. And so when I make decisions today, that's the standpoint I make it from. So at any time, if I throw it all to the wolves, understand that I've already come to the conclusion that I'm willing to lose everything for that outcome.
Right, so with that, are we all doing that? Are we taking that time to really think and say, I know what I'm doing and I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm protecting my family, or I'm protecting this person.
I'm happy you said that, because that's where I wanted to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this 25 to whatever years, and I can no longer protect them again or be there. I know that I'm doing this.
I'm happy you said that, because that's also an option. Even in a situation where you making the decision to go to war is warranted, you have to understand that going to war for the safety of your family may mean that the future of your family no longer has that safety.
You are going. That net is going.
You know what I mean? So this becomes very intricate. It becomes less of a light conversation when you start thinking of it like that, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm living for these people, right? If I'm living for them, and the point of me going to war is by way of protecting them, I can't protect them tomorrow if I'm locked up for the rest of my life. If I'm murdered.
Yep.
I'm not gonna be here for that.
A paraplegic, or, you know what I'm saying? So,
whatever. Anything that takes away from your ability to still protect.
Yep. So what I loved what you said was, we say we'll die for somebody, but what about living for our people? And if we're able to change that, saying to nah, I'll live for you, that really changes the way you carry yourself in the world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and when you take inventory, you got to know what you value. I'm not just talking about your values and principles. I'm talking about what you value in your world, right? So my children, my grandchildren, my family, that is, those are things I value at the highest regard. My closest relationships, that's things I value at the highest regard.
Right.
So the same things that I would die for is the same things I would live for.
Right.
Right? And when it comes to peace versus war, those are the things that are the deciding factor. Those are the things that should come into play mentally when you come into the conclusion of how you're going to respond to something.
That's right. And then with that, one thing that I've been, very, very conscious about over the last couple of years, and is about looking at the environments that you're in, because some environments really breed issues.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So if you're going somewhere and you feel like you gotta have a joint on you, you gotta be packing, you shouldn't go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, damn, like you shouldn't even be going.
You shouldn't want to. You
understand?
goes back to our choice conversation, right? Like making choices that favor the life that you desire.
Exactly.
Not the life that you have to run from, be scared of.
Or the one that you used to.
Or used to.
Or the one
Very
that you
good.
used to.
Very
It's like, you really have to expand your circle. Because if you want to be safe, then there's certain hood spots and certain things that you just cannot go to anymore. It breeds hate, it breeds envy, and that's all that's there. That means, though, that's not your circle anymore. You cannot be there. You're more than likely, before that night is over, something is going to happen. Don't go.
With growth comes a lot of changes, right? And decisions that I wouldn't say are the most fun, but necessary.
Right.
I'm much less social than I was because I have that understanding.
That's right.
I know my temperament. I know that there's just certain things that I'm not standing for.
Exactly.
I'm not okay with.
So you can't be around it.
I must say something. I must have a response. And I'm not someone who believes that you get to dictate somebody's response to your response, right? So if I have an action, I understand that somebody else is going to have an action. And I'm clear on that. So to create a safe environment, a peaceful environment, I enjoy my life. I'm happy. So I'm not searching. I'm not running around trying to search for happiness because I already live it. There is certain environments I'm just not going to. There's certain situations and company I'm just not going to be around.
Right. You got to know when time to leave. You got to know when it's time to leave, and you got to know when you don't go. Period.
I stay away from anything that's going to make me not be at my highest level of self. That's how I live my life. If I'm not going to show up the greatest in the space, I'm not going to the space.
Yep.
So war is an option, but it's my very last resort.
And that really should be for all of us. For, strictly for protection and making it home. You know what I mean? Strictly for protection and making it home safely.
What do we want to leave this with? I mean, I feel like we gave a lot throughout the conversation, but is there any points that you want to make sure stand out before we close out?
With all the different conversations that we've had about community, about the health of the Black community, togetherness, unity, and all of those things, we're not oblivious to the fact that everybody's not on that same page and on that same type of time. So the point of this conversation is to, just put out there that although we're talking about unity and peace amongst our people, we do understand that there are points where, or there are times when you must protect yourself. You must make sure you and your people, make it home safely, but at the same time, use discernment, use logic, do your best to not let your PTSD
take over.
Your negative experiences take over, where your alarm system is being a bit sensitive and causing you to throw it all away.
Absolutely. I think you said everything that I wanted to say in regard to what people need to take away from this.
It's so much better above ground. It's so much better outside and not behind bars.
Yo, freedom is one of my highest principles. Yeah. I'm not going to jail.
Right.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. My freedom, I mean, although I truly understand that freedom is up here,
Yeah.
it has absolutely nothing to do with where you are located.
Mm-hmm.
But your location matters.
Location matters.
Proximity matters. Discernment is one of the words that popped out when you were speaking. Discernment is something I'm seeing that's lacking with a lot of adults, let alone young people.
Exactly. Discernment is the ability to make a smart judgment about something.
Absolutely. What I realized about my younger self was I'm very articulate, calm. I'm able to say what I need, what is bothering me, all of that while I'm calm. Once I would be high in emotion, everything would leave. And that's what made it so easy for me to put hands on people.
Yeah.
Now, as an adult, knowing how to take a breath, sit with my thoughts, take accountability for my part in things, it absolutely supports discernment in my world, even when I'm emotional. Because now it's like, I know that nothing in my existence is there without me inviting it in. So
like
that starts first.
Right.
So now I have to take that moment, which gives me a step back to say how I'm handling this.
My motto is, you're not tricking me off the streets.
There you go.
You ain't tricking me off. Oh, you're not tricking me off the streets. You're bugging. I wish I would let you take me away.
And that's all
You know
it
what I'm
is,
saying?
though. And that's
Tricking
all
me
it
off the
is.
streets.
Is you're letting them.
Yeah.
Accountability says, I created this.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I enjoyed this conversation.
If in watching this discussion, you think about, times when you've overreacted, because you're gonna be tested again. It's gonna happen again. We just hope that you make the right decision for you and yours.
And before we go, make sure that you're keeping in mind who you're going to war with. The people that are closest to you, your loved ones, shouldn't get the same war that the outside world gets.
Oh, hell no.
I'm Mahogany,
I'm Ish.
and this is Culture Currency.
With culture,
Is the value.
make sure to like, comment,
Subscribe, and
and
share.
share. Peace.